G20 foreign ministers have gathered on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly in New York as the clock ticks towards the G20 Leaders Summit in South Africa in November. President Cyril Ramaphosa is expected to address the meeting, and International Relations Minister Ronald Lamola has echoed that South Africa's agenda is packed with pressing global issues.
It is a meeting of the G20 Foreign Affairs Ministers meetings on the sideline of the UN General Assembly, which will also be, participants will include all other member states of the UN who may not be members of the G20. It's the second time a meeting of this nature is taking place on the sideline of the UN following the Brazilian one. In terms of the agenda, the key issues that we will want to drive in the meeting is to put forward the implementation of the Pact of the Future that was adopted by the UN General Assembly in 2024, to take forward the issues of the reform of the international financial architecture in the platform, and also the issues related to the critical mineral report that the UN took the decision on last year. So the meeting will be broadly encompassing on all those issues that need us to implement as resolutions or decisions of the UN, including the financing for development, the Compromiso de Sevilla Declaration.
Among the key issues are multilateral reform, global peace and security, climate finance, and food security. The question of the US's participation has also been closely watched.
Is that the US will participate. There is a confirmation, but it's not yet very clear as to at which level. But they will definitely participate because they have now decided to re-engage with the whole process of the G20, and they are participating in the various meetings of the G20 hosted by South Africa.
While attendance has been confirmed, the level of engagement by Washington is still to be clarified. South Africa says the G20's work remains closely linked to the UN General Assembly's leaders' debate.
This is to reinforce the message that the UN is the prime multilateral platform of the world for all member states. As I've said, it was a meeting held by Brazil last year. It reinforces this year the message of the resolution on the Pact of the Future, the UN financing for development, Compromiso de Sevilla, and also the report on the critical minerals that was also adopted by the UN General Assembly. Indeed, we are reinforcing the work of the United Nations, and it is for that reason that this meeting has been brought on the margins of the UN General Assembly, which also give an opportunity to member states of the UN who are not necessarily member states of the G20.
With deep divisions within the group, Lamola says significant groundwork has been done to push for a consensus and resolution at the upcoming Leaders Summit.
Yes, it's the nature of any multilateral fora that negotiations on the text or declarations will go on until the last minute. This one of South Africa is no exception. We have been hard at work with all the meetings, working group meetings, the foreign ministers meetings, the Sherpa track, and all the engagements have been pointing towards a discussion with regards to the declarations. There are still a lot of points of that needs to be ironed out, but we remain confident that we can be able to master a declaration, and if not, we will obviously end up with a leader's summary. But we are working very hard to achieve a declaration, and the negotiations will continue. This meeting will further enhance that work.
And on the issue of Palestine, now recognized as a state by countries such as Australia, Lamola reiterated South Africa's support for a two-state solution and called for broader consensus across multilateral platforms.
This is a development, and we see it as a major turning point to deal with the Israel impunity that is currently unfolding on the Gaza Strip, including the UN Human Rights Commission's report, which has provided with forensic detail the fact that what is currently unfolding in Palestine and the Gaza Strip is genocide. So we welcome this. It's a turning point. We call all members of the United States, of the United Nations, to follow suit and continue with the pressure to ensure that there is a cessation of fire.
The foreign ministers' meeting in New York sets the stage for the G20 Leaders Summit in November, where South Africa says diplomacy and dialogue will be key to shaping a united global response to shared challenges. Bukhali Pele, SABC News.